What do you say next? It is strange that 50 Cent is paying Jay-Z's legal bills, bring him before the court, as well as paying him to appear in his Diddy and Jay documentary. It's getting messy out here, darling. Additionally, it appears like Jay-Z and Beyonce will soon be held accountable for all of the wrongdoing they have been engaging in over the years. Nicki Minaj recently blasted Jay on Twitter, even shared receipts demonstrating that he worked with several industry people in addition to owing her more than $200 million, executives to attempt to destroy her career. His son, whom he has been denying from the beginning of time, came out once again before we could understand what the hell that was about, or how he came to owe her so much money in the first place. This time, he has hard proof that Jay is, in fact, his father. You are the father. Ramir Satterthwaite, the estranged son in question, has been arguing with Jay-Z about this since 2010. He asserts that when his mother, Wanda, was only 16, Jay knocked her up. Ramir began this legal struggle with Jay when Wanda was still alive, but she died in 2019 in a notarized declaration she provided to the Daily Mail before her death. She described how she and Jay first met and how, reportedly, he had slept with her naked during a one-night stand. She claimed that she was compelled to list her ex-boyfriend, Robert Graves, as Ryer's father on his birth certificate after several unsuccessful attempts to persuade Jay to claim Ryer. But here's the deal. She misled her lover into believing that Ramir was his knocking hood and, in fact, that he was someone else's child. As I already stated, Ree had already started pursuing Jay before his mother passed away, but he turned into more tenacious after her passing. Many believe that Jay's refusal to take a paternity test and his playing hide-and-seek with Ree are motivated by his want to keep his affair with a 16-year-old child a secret. Ree's godmother, Lily Colley, claims that when Wanda first contacted Jay about Ree, he actually replied favorably. They even discussed Ryer's musical ability and if it would be appropriate to sign him to his record label at that time. However, their perspective abruptly shifted when other attorneys became engaged. I believe they understood that Sean had more at risk because Wanda was supposedly juvenile. We must fight back, and we won't give up because of the numerous errors, omissions, and collusions that have occurred between Sean's and our attorneys since then. In a fiery interview, Ramir charged that Jay-Z had paid judges and attorneys to bury this case so it would never be heard. He went so far as to accuse his own attorneys, whom he pays out of pocket, of being bought off by Jay in order to undermine the case.
That's going on still in our court system. I'm just trying to keep the world really aware because this is something that's going on continuously on a daily basis with maybe many different people. So, as I said, I was in a major court. Me, my mom, my godmom, we've been in court for many years, and it's just been crazy. As I said before, it's been crazy. We've been going in there. I don't feel like we've been getting our rights really appreciated. So important to deal with because all the fraud on the court, if we just let that, just pass and not say anything about it, they will continue to do anything they want. It's not just with us, it's with people in the world. Like a lot of fraud and a lot of collusion that's just been going on and just been looked over was never supposed to happen. And I will not let that pass. I'm not letting the lawyers get away with that. They will not go in the courtroom of justice and just lie like that and continue to get praised off it or, use this lie to benefit off all these years. Like we've been going to court, putting our hard-earned money out there, and we going in there to fight fraud. That's just that's craziness. That's really craziness. And I don't think nobody in the world should have to go through that. You going in there, you paying your hard-earned money. You got these lawyers that just frauding and pitting anything they want basically in the courtroom, and the judges is just allowing this to go on. I honestly believe that both of them should be hold it responsible for this, because if you guys, this is you guys' job, and if the judge can't see this or overlook it, I can understand a mistake, but just throughout the years, this continue to overlook fraud is just craziness to me. Like, come on, it's because it's crazy. It really is crazy. These judges, these lawyers, this fraud, this collusion. Who knows what it's for? Money or friendships or whatever they got going on. But I can honestly say that we should never go in the courtroom feeling like we're already the victims and we did nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong but come in here, tell you guys the truth, put our life on the line, come to every court case and give you 100% plus of us. And basically we just got stepped on, and basically, just try to get dragged through the system.
In an interview with Liz Crokin, Ree and his godmother Lily shared their
think that it seemed that Jay-Z, via his people, were willing to work something out behind the scenes, and then all of a sudden that stopped. Why? Why do you think that he is refusing to take a paternity test and stopped, working with you all behind the scenes? What was driving that, in your opinion?
Well, part of it was a rumor that was told that he didn't like the fact that this particular case was in the public, and he had a problem with Ramir putting it in the public, which was not Ramir, was his mother. So basically, in a nutshell, I just believe that was a big part of it. He didn't like the fact that it was in public. There was a time that Mr. Carter was trying to resolve the matter in the very beginning, and he was doing it in the best interest of Ramir. And then somewhere he left his heart and started thinking with his head.
Do you think part of it is because Wanda was 16?
Yeah, well, definitely that's the big part of it. The allegations that we have, that the affidavit says that Wanda was 16 and he was 22. That's in Wanda's own words.
Right.
So therefore, that would be something that would make some people uncomfortable.
Right. Well, it's a crime. But for the record, you did tell me that Wanda told you that she did tell Jay-Z that she was of legal age. Is that true?
Right. She did tell me that she told him she was 18 or something, whatever she told him.
Lily disclosed that ever since they began pursuing Jay, their lives have been in danger, and she even mentioned that she and Rye have been being followed around. She even stated that Ramir's house had once been broken into, and the intruders had threatened to return and hurt him if he didn't drop the case. The situation became so dire that Ramir had to repeatedly seek assistance from the police. Naturally, Jay is also paid by the federal government. Thus, those reports were immediately discarded.
Yep.
We had to go to the police about several things. There's people, like you said, came onto the property. Some of them knocked on Ramir's window. They wanted Ramir to drop the case. This was early on. There's been a lot of what they call intimidation.
And grab this, everyone. Ramir claimed that he attempted to complete a DNA test online by tracking his ancestors back to Jay's because Jay declined to do so. But he never even got it, and the results were conveniently falsified. After multiple tries to get Jay to take a DNA test, Letitia Messer, Jay's second arranged daughter, apparently used the same tactic to get him to claim her. As it turns out, she was allegedly paid off and signed a non-disclosure agreement, NDA, to stop discussing it after receiving.
But we use Ancestry.com, and that's basically say they didn't give me my paperwork back. Like, I did the swab and spit in it and it gets sent it to them. And when I called to try to get my information, basically it was an error, and I never heard of that.
There was an error? They wouldn't give you your paperwork?
They won't give me my paperwork from Ancestry.com. Now you have people saying use 23andMe. And I just want people to know, like, the courts got my DNA. So if they wanted to test my DNA, for me just to keep spending all this money, these guys can test it. It's Jay-Z and them. And it's the judges. They have everything they need. So obviously I'm not out of the fight, and I won't stop. It's not just about no Jay-Z. I'm not just chasing Jay-Z. That's not what it's about. My mom passed away fighting this case until she was gone. So that's more important to me than anything.
Jay-Z's attempt to have the matter dismissed from court recently brought it up again. However, the judge rejected his motion after considering the evidence. He subsequently submitted a second motion, this time claiming that the entire matter amounted to harassment that had lasted for 10 years. According to him, the false accusations and claims have already been handled and dismissed by several different courts, and persistent rejection of those rulings has already led to a contempt order. Now, as all of this was happening, 50 after years of attempting to silence Rear, Cent entered the conversation and taunted Jay-Z for not resolving this dispute. Word has it that 50 Cent recently included rhyme in his planned documentary about Diddy and Jay, which only serves to exacerbate the situation. As a result, he is covering Ryer's court costs in order to prolong his case against Jay as long as necessary. People weren't surprised because, as I mentioned, 50 has been doing this for a long time, particularly since Diddy was arrested. Has anyone seen Jay? Was the caption for one of his many posts, which featured a photo of Jay's face on a milk jug. LOL. The man's not picking up his phone, Puff said. After that, he posted another picture of Jay with the words, "Here is Jay-Z." Last reported seen, waving at Puffy Jetlog. 50 shared this incredibly derogatory picture of Jay-Z and wrote in the caption, "Jay in hibernation, he no brunch, no lunch, and no dinner. I won't be going outside till this is all finished. Funny you got him outside and I'm all Jay-Z," is trending because the judge has granted Rymer's request to move forward with his case. 50 said below a photo of Rymer and Diddy expressing his view about the issue. In addition, the judge has given Jay-Z until July 18th to reply to Rhee's paternity complaint. Jay-Z, who, though, isn't thrilled that 50 got himself engaged in this. Beyonce, she seems to be really upset that this matter is still pending. Now, 50 is attempting to increase its visibility by including it in his documentary. Lily, Ryer's godmother, claims that Jay has yet to claim Rhee because of Beyonce. She claimed that Beyonce persuaded DH to keep everything secret since she was deeply uneasy about Jay's desire to claim Ryer.
You have told me that you believe that Beyonce may have been one of the reasons why there wasn't a resolution.
I do believe that. Like in the very beginning, they didn't have a daughter, and there was seemed like we were understanding there was complications in getting conceived, etc.
Right.
And I felt like that would make some women, and seem like her with her, she would fit that
Right.
bill, uncomfortable about him having a fully grown son with a talent.
Right.
So I do believe that she had a problem. If it was true, she would have a problem with the fact that Rymer was in the picture or coming in the picture, because that was a vulnerable time.
Right.
But clearly now, 10 years later, 12 years later,
Some
you would
people have
think
their
somebody
own
would say, hey,
opinions,
let's just get this
such as
out
the
of the
one
way.
who stated the DNA tests need to be done. Inside the courtroom in front of Rhee Jay-Z, lawyers and the judge, with the results tested right in the courtroom. It's now unclear how true any of this is. Another remarked, "I would assume that Miss Bey, as a mother and wife, would want the truth so that this matter may be resolved. What kind of lady doesn't want her spouse to accept accountability as a parent to all his children? The young man was not born here on his own volition. Stop putting things off, Jay, and take the test." But now I'd like to hear your opinion. What are your thoughts on Beyonce's purported attempts to hide all of this? And is it appropriate for 50 to include this in his documentary, in your opinion? Tell me what you think in this space provided for comments below.